Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so you've sent us this really expansive idea, basically that everything in the universe, quarks, galaxies, a chair, even an idea like truth, it can all be described as a level.
Yeah, it's quite a concept. And the sources you shared touch on, well, almost everything. Quantum mechanics, philosophy. It's mind-blowing, really, the breadth.
Absolutely. So our mission today is to dig into this,
Mhm.
explore this universal level idea, see where it echoes existing thought, what its potential is, and maybe, where it falls short.
It's interesting, this drive for order. Your idea, it immediately makes me think of ontology.
Ontology, the
Yeah.
study of being, right?
Uh,
Existence itself.
exactly. Philosophers have always tried to categorize reality. You've got Aristotle way back when with his 10 categories, substance, quality, quantity, that sort of thing.
Okay, so people have tried this before.
In a way. But what's different here, I think, is that your concept puts, say, gold, a substance, and gravity, a force or concept, on the same, well, footing as just different levels.
Unlike Aristotle. And what about others? Kant, maybe?
Right, Kant had categories too, but his were more about how our minds structure experience, quantity relation, things like that. Your level seems more objective, like a feature of the universe, not just our perception of it.
So it cuts across old distinctions, like
Yeah.
concrete things versus abstract ideas.
It seems to. A gravitational force level, a gold level, even pain as a level.
Hmm.
It kind of nudges towards philosophical monism, too, the idea that reality is fundamentally just one thing.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. How does this mesh with science? Because science definitely talks about levels.
Oh, absolutely. Biology is a classic example. Levels of organization, right? Atom, molecule, cell, organism, all the way up to the biosphere.
Clear hierarchies there, part-whole
It's
relationship.
exactly. Ecology does something similar. So you wonder if maybe that kind of scientific hierarchy was part of the inspiration?
Maybe. But then you have examples like pain level or thinking level,
Yeah.
which don't really fit that neat biological ladder.
Good point. It suggests a broader meaning of level than just a step in a structural hierarchy. Physics also talks levels, subatomic particles, atoms, stars, galaxies, the universe.
So it's almost like seeing the universe as one giant system, maybe.
That's a great way to put it. Systems theory looks at exactly that interconnected systems, micro, meso, macro levels. Your idea could be like a grand unified systems view. Boulding even had his hierarchy of system complexity using levels.
And level is actually used in specific fields already, isn't it?
For sure. In physics, you have energy levels for electrons, the quantum level. Chemistry describes molecules using different descriptor levels. Social sciences, you mentioned micro, meso, macro analysis.
Even education, proficiency levels, or video games.
Right, or just everyday language, a level of intensity, a position on a scale. These uses show level can mean a discrete state, or a rank, or a magnitude. Your concept seems to want to unify all that into something more fundamental.
What's the upside then? And what's the potential downside of looking at everything this way?
Well, the potential upside is maybe a simply more unified picture. It could highlight how things are interconnected, maybe make complex stuff feel a bit more accessible.
A single lens, maybe?
Kind of, but the big risk, oversimplification, calling a quark and, say, a person and the concept of justice, all levels, well, you risk blurring really crucial differences between them.
And the elephant in the room is, what is a level in this universal sense? How do you define it consistently?
Precisely. Without a clear definition, it doesn't explain much. Saying gravity is a level tells us nothing about gravity. Trying to fit this into existing science and philosophy, that's a huge challenge.
And different cultures might carve up the world differently anyway.
True. Folk taxonomies, spiritual views, they wouldn't necessarily map onto this single level idea neatly.
But it does keep echoing some themes, like that monism idea we mentioned, reality being one underlying thing.
It does resonate strongly with monism, maybe even stretching it, panpsychism, if level implies some kind of inherent being or awareness, though it's very different from a scientific theory of everything, which looks for mathematical laws.
More conceptual.
Yeah, it aligns more with ideas like integrative levels from systems theory, where complexity emerges at higher, well, levels.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, this level concept you proposed, it's ambitious, definitely touches on deep questions about reality.
Absolutely. It taps into that long human quest for unity and order, and you can see connections to philosophical and scientific thinking.
But the core issue remains.
How do you define level? So it's truly universal, but also actually useful and insightful across absolutely everything. That's the crux.
It's a lot to think about. And maybe here's a final thought for you. Even without a perfect definition, Does just thinking about everything as a level change how you see it? Does applying that label itself spark any new connections or questions in your mind? Thanks for exploring this with us.